All right, we're going live in the next half minute, okay? So namaste and good evening, Kaashvi. Welcome to the Author Experience conversations that we have with young poets and authors like you every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. India time. So how are you, Kaashvi?
I am great. How about you?
And what did you do on a Sunday?
On a Sunday, I was actually up preparing.
Go ahead. Tell me, what did you do through this Sunday today?
I said that I was actually up preparing, and
You were preparing for this interview.
yeah, preparing means I was like setting the whole background. I was choosing my clothes, what to wear, and all the accessories, and I was just do all this stuff today.
Okay, and that's a lot of preparation, I must say. What do you
I
do? What do you do on regular Sundays, on other Sundays?
on regular Sundays, I try to finish a book. I try to finish a book I issued from the library, my school library.
Mm-hmm.
And on regular Sundays, I actually watch a lot of TV because it's a weekend.
Okay. And what do you watch on TV?
As I said, I am currently like finishing up the series Just Add Magic. It's a mysterious series with magic included. Like the plot of the story is some cookbook, and where there are three girls who like to cook, and then they found a magic cookbook, and now they create different type of recipes which help people, or which sometimes mess up, and it's actually really fun to like know what's going on.
Okay. Okay. Good. So tell me more about a little about your school and what are you studying in school nowadays? What's your favorite subject?
Actually, it's a little hard to like say, oh, which my favorite subject, because it's the starting of the session, and like I have to check further, like, oh, what's my favorite subject, because currently everything is very easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And which class are you in now?
I am in seventh grade.
Okay, seventh grade. Which school do you go to?
I go to Tagore International School, Vasant Vihar.
Vasant Vihar. Okay. I've been to that school to speak once, I think almost around 10 to 11 years ago. So namaste once again to everybody who has joined us on Facebook. We are glad to have Kaashvi Mangal with us today. She's a 11-year-old poet and writes poems, and she's also writing stories nowadays. And very soon she's going to be an author who also tells stories. So Kaashvi, to begin with, uh, let's have you share your life journey. You're 11 years old now. So from whenever you can remember to now, what are the best moments of your life? What are the high points? What are the low points? What defines your journey in the past 11 years? Walk us through your life journey. So you can take 9 minutes to 10 minutes, and the screen is all yours. Over to you, Kaashvi.
So, hello everyone. I am Kaashvi Mangal. I am 11 years old, and I am the author of the book The Curled Verses, which you can see on the screen. My life journey has till now been joyful and stress free, and that's how it should be, because I'm 11. Some high points of my life, when I first got my book published, it was shared all over social media, even in my class groups, and when the next day I went to school, I was, I was over the moon, because everyone was congratulating me. Everyone was having handshakes with me, and it was just, I was on cloud 9 at that moment, because I was on the limelight, I was in the spotlight. Everyone was just like, wow. I felt like really good. I cannot hear you.
I said, is that the one high point that you remember, or there are more high points?
There are more high points,
You
like,
can just walk us through your journey. You don't need to kind of just focus on the high points. Just tell us about your life story. What are the defining moments? What are the ahas of your 11 years journey? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? Just tell us whatever you feel like telling us. Free flow.
Sure. So I'm really into, pop music. Music is, I cannot live without music. I listen to it every day, and I feel really relaxed, and I enjoy it a lot. Even rock music is my favorite. If I talk about books, then I like books which have a little bit of drama, and are a little adventurous. My favorite author is Sudha Murthy, because her books are so relatable, and that they are easily understandable too. So yeah, that was what I like to read, everything. Then then secondly, if I speak about, like, if I speak about the idea of writing a book, I should say that I was teased in school a little bit because of my hair. I was called like funny names, like Maggie, Chowmin, and everything. So I really wanted to show people, I wanted to make an identity for myself, that yes, I can be that curly haired girl who can write a book. So yeah, that's how I started to write a book. And when I finished, and when the book was published, that very moment, my family had just gone crazy. They were hugging me. There was a layer of happiness around the house. It was like an atmosphere full of happiness and smiles and laughter. I just felt, I always feel really positive around, because I believe I'm a positive and calm person. I never feel like, low or dark. So I would say, uh I have been dedicated.
Very nice. Excellent, Kashvi. So tell me, what really made you choose to write poems?
So if I would say, or if I would talk about poems, I would say I started writing poems at the age of 8, and I used to get appreciated by my parents
Hmm.
to write whenever I used to write something on the paper, and I would give it to them. They would actually like it very much, and that's what motivated me to keep going, to keep writing. And that's when it struck my mind that I should have all these poems compiled. I should write a book. I should do something. I should make an identity.
Okay. And why are you so keen to make an identity so early in life? What is this thing about identity? I did hear you say that people made fun of your hair, etc. Right? And I think there's a life lesson there because you have beautiful hair, Kashvi. Yeah. And I don't think you should let anyone embarrass you about your hair because people will tease you, people will bully you, and they can only get to us when our self-esteem, when our own validation is low because we are looking for appreciation from strangers, right? Looking for appreciation from the psychological studies show you that looking for appreciation from your close, near and dear ones is fine. That validation is required, what is called as the inner circle, right, which includes your parents, maybe your siblings, your family members, close friends, etc. But if all everybody matters, and that's the reason you have so many people doing weird things on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, because they're just looking for likes from strangers, right? Because they're always seeking validation from outside. So my thing too is that what is it that strikes you that you have to make an identity so early in life? Because
Uh,
these are the years where you should enjoy yourself and just free flow. It's not about making an identity because your identity forms as you go along. I'm just giving you some insight. So
yes.
I would like to hear a child's perspective on this.
Yeah, so actually, as a child, I am a little competitive, and I like to show people, what I can do.
Hmm.
And I believe that my talent was poetry, and I wanted to show people that yes, I can write poetry. So this is why I decided that I would write a book, and I would show them that yes, I can write poetry. And it feels nice when someone comes up to you, and they're like, can you please write something for me? It's my mother's birthday, it's my mother's anniversary, can you please write something for me? I really want to gift her in a special way this time. And I happily agree, because I feel like as a helper to them. I feel as an angel to them, who's helping them express their feelings to their loved ones.
Okay. So tell us, so how did you kind of choose this title, the curled verses? What is the thought behind the title, the curled verses? Why did you call? I know about your curly hair now, but what is the larger thought behind the curled verses?
The title "The Curled Verses" means a curly hair who it means a curly haired girl who's writing verses, writing poems, and who steals in school, but now has
Who's what in school?
teased in school,
Teased in school. Okay.
was teased in school, but now has come out with a book.
Hmm.
The Curled Verses is a collection of 25 poems,
Hmm.
and 25 poems. And it's like, and and all the poems have positivity, and basically it's like a mixed bag. We have everything in the book, like we have some things about family, vacations, seasons, and basically a lot of joy and stress freeness in the book.
Okay, great. So at this point, let me ask you to read out one poem from your book. I can see the book right behind you. Eh,
Yes,
Can you read
I
out one poem from the 25 poems?
sure. I would like to read my favorite poem.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the book.
Yes.
Just give me a second.
Yeah, sure. Take your time. So Kashvi is a young poet who's written a book which has already been published, and she's also the recipient of our Rex Karmavir Global Fellowship, which we instituted in partnership with the Delhi Poetry Festival for young poets like Kashvi who are still in school, student poets. And she's also got the Karmavir Chakra Award that was instituted by the International Confederation of NGOs in association with the United Nations. So over to you, Kashvi.
Yes. My favorite poem should be Planning for the Family Trip. And this is how it goes. Planning for the family trip feels like moving in a gigantic ship. Resorts, travel, and pools. And traveling in the summer vacation is so much more cool because of no worry of school. The packing in massive bags, and so that they don't get lost, there are names written on tags. Trains and planes, or you see, just thinking of it in our mind remains. Waking up early for an early flight and packing with all our might. Packing extra always so that nothing can attack us. The happy family is on its way to their destination and from their home away. Travel, travel, travel. At one place, we won't stay.
Okay, so tell me, what are the thoughts behind this poem? I mean, is this related to one particular vacation that you went on with your family, or what is the
No,
yeah?
it's all about traveling. It's all about having fun while you're traveling. It's like spending time with spending time with your loved ones, your family, your friends, and whatever happens when you go and travel, and what happens before and after that. Like I mentioned in the poem, you pack. So I mentioned about packing, that how do you pack, and what do you do before packing. And I mentioned everything, I knew, what I saw whenever we used to go on vacation.
Okay, so you observe the behaviors
Yes,
of people when people are
observation.
going. Okay, okay. So would you say, I mean, you already told us about the central theme of your book, the curled verses, right? What is the core takeaway for a reader from the book?
The core takeaway for the reader is to always be positive, be happy, because if you look at all the poems, they some way or the other they contain joy.
Hmm.
So I advise the person who's reading the book to be to never be like, negative and be like, oh, I can't do this. To always be positive, to always be happy, to enjoy life, because you only have one life.
Right. Okay. So, earlier you spoke about you said your interests are rock music. So, what kind of rock music do you listen to, and who's your favorite band, and what is your favorite song?
I said rock music and pop music. So like pop music basically means popular music, the music which like goes around. And I would not say band. My favorite, I would say my favorite singers. I really can't decide my favorite singer, because there are like so many, and there's so many songs. But if I had to choose one, I would say Taylor Swift.
Okay. And which song by Taylor Swift do you like?
I would say Blank Space.
Okay. Do you want to sing a few lines from the song for us?
Uh,
I know I'm putting you on a spot, but the audience would love it.
okay.
So let's also show them your singing skills now.
Cherry lips, crystal skies. I could show you incredible things. Stolen kisses, pretty lies. You're the king, baby. I'm your queen. Find out what you want. Be that girl for a month. Wait, the worst is yet to come. Oh no, screaming, crying, perfect storms. I can make all the tables turn. Rose garden filled with thorns. Keep your second guess. I'm like, oh my god, who is she? I get drunk on jealousy, but you come back each time you leave. Cause darling, I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream.
Excellent. Bravo. A huge applause for you. Thank
That
you.
was
Thank you,
that was a
Kashvi,
little
for
awkward.
indulging me and for singing that song. So, Kashvi, coming back to your other interests, you spoke about books and you said you like books written by Sudha Murthy, right? So, which are the books you've read, and is there any one particular story that sticks to you? And if so, what is the story and what are the life lessons that you got from that? Because the reason I'm asking you is this is because I also write books, and I write books which tell true stories of real heroes. And the reason I do that is because I think in a world where most students like you and young people end up thinking that movie stars and sports stars and celebrities are heroes, it is very important for them to understand that it is the ordinary man or woman who are the heroes, right? So I write stories of ordinary people, some of them who come from very, very poor backgrounds. They have never gone to school or college. They've never had the opportunity to go to school and college, and yet there are people who are making a big difference in our world every day. And I was particularly inspired when I had an aha moment meeting a man who actually moved a mountain with his bare hands. His name is Dashrath Manji. So I
Yes.
was inspired by him to write the book. And I first wrote Dashrath Manji's story in 2002, and then it was made into a movie in 2015. So I feel that, and that's my inspiration, because I feel that the youth, the students, the youngsters of today, the children of today need to know that the real heroes are out there, people you've never heard about, the unsung ones. Yeah. So I want to ask you two questions now, right? What you said you got into storytelling. So what is your inspiration? What is your aha moment about getting into storytelling right now from writing poems? And what are the stories that stick to you from Sudha Murthy's books? These are the two questions.
So like like focusing on storytelling now instead of poetry currently. It feels like it feels as a change, like I'm changing right now, because when you write poetry, you try to find rhyming words, and you don't have to really worry about the word limit. But when you are storytelling, you have to like you have to have stress on every word. And like a word limit is something you need to be particular about, because when the reader is reading a story, he cannot just like just keep on reading and reading, because then it gets really boring. You have to give short breaks in
Mm-hmm.
between. You have to give short pauses. They're not supposed to be many characters. They can be side characters, but like not to have many main characters, not to have different and like weird names. It gets a little annoying for the reader to read. So that's all the things you have to be cautious about when you're writing a story, or when you're doing storytelling. Yeah. And I've been trying to take care of all of that, because now I've shifted to storytelling. And if I have to answer the second question, Sudhamurthy's books are pretty understandable. They don't have a very lavish vocabulary, and it's like it's made for children to read, to understand, and to give and to learn. So if I had to tell you about one story, give me some time to think, because there is just
Go
so
ahead.
many
Take your
stories
take
rushing.
your time. Something which strikes you immediately. Something which comes to your mind immediately.
Yeah. Uh, I would say 9 questions for a princess.
Okay. And what is the story all about?
The story is about a princess who will only marry a prince who can ask her a question she cannot answer. So the prince was pretty clever, and he asked her a question that, what is that one question you cannot answer? And the princess was so confused that she had to give up.
Okay. So the 9 questions by the princess who'll get married to a prince only who cannot answer one of her questions. Is that
So
the theme?
who can ask her a question she cannot answer.
Okay, who can ask her a question that she cannot answer. All right, brilliant. Okay, good. So so tell me, what are your how do you see your life kind of opening up from here? I mean, now that you're in mid school, right? You're in class 7, you said.
Hmm.
Uh, and and what do you see yourself doing in the next few years besides studying, right? What are your other co-curricular activities that you participate in?
Co-curricular activities. Okay, so I
What are
would
the
say,
what are the sports you play? What are the other things that you do?
I'm not really into like outdoor physical sports, but I think playing chess is a hobby right now.
Okay, okay, excellent. And what interests you about chess?
Chess is a mind game. You have to you have to be sure of every move. And I developed this interest of chess because of my grandmother. She always calls me and she's like, come, let's play something, come, let's play chess. And I'm always eager to do it. And she's actually a really good player. And I mostly lose, but then losing is what taught me the moves I should be cautious of, like when to move the pawn, when not to move the queen, when to move the king, when not to move the king.
Right. Okay, so at this point, would you like to read another poem from your book?
Yeah, of course.
Sure, go ahead.
Now, the second poem I would be reading is Life, Then and Now. The poem is about the poem is about like the childhood of my parents, because they're from the 90s. Your childhood, because you were also like I think born in the 90s. And I would like to compare the 90s and the 21st century.
I was born in the 70s,
Okay.
actually in 1970.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, bud. Okay.
Life then and now. Life then and now is so different. Both the times are magnificent. Life then, there was almost no technology. The only thing which did not change is the biology. Life then was full of get togethers. Life now is full of online meetings. And there's a huge change in the weather. A small room with one bulb for light, that too at a lower height. And now there's a big bungalow with loads of tube lights and massive beds and a squishy pillow for our heads. Life then was a little more traditional, and now it's a little more Western to be professional. Our parents had a childhood living in the ancient times, and now we're on screens doing almost everything online. Let's go out of the house and visit parks and spend our childhood happily and spend more happy times with our family. Thank you.
Excellent. Do you want to unpack that poem for us? What is the thought behind the poem?
So,
Is it something to do with the so-called new normal and the old normal, pre and post COVID? Or is it
no,
simply
no,
about
not
the
at all.
online and the on-ground uh, activities that people are missing nowadays?
Like even before COVID, most of the parks used to be empty because the children were in their houses on phone, on TVs, on tablets, and screens, and and it used to really not give a good feeling because earlier my parents always used to tell me that like please go outside and play. In our times the parks always used to be full, and we used to fight for the slides. We used to fight for who will sit on the slide next, and they really miss seeing the parks full again. So that's when I thought that I should really compare what's there
So
then and
which year did you write this poem?
I wrote this in 2022.
Okay.
It was recent.
Okay. So tell us a little about your family, your mom, your dad, your siblings, if any, and
Yes.
what are the best things that you like doing with them? What are the things that you don't like doing with them? Whatever you want to tell us.
I really like spending time with my family playing cards.
Okay.
My mother is a finance professional and my father is a businessman. My younger brother, who is currently 9 years old, who is into speed cubing
Mm-hmm.
right currently, and has won many awards.
Mm-hmm.
S- I really like annoying him.
Okay.
My grandmother is a really sweet person, and as I said that she always invites me to play chess over. She's actually really smart while playing cards and chess, and she's really good at mind games.
Right. Anything else you want to share before we move
Yes,
forward?
I would also like to tell you that like how do I like spending time with different members of my family. With my mother, I like to cook. I like to cook different dishes like pudding or veg lollipops, and we have a lot of fun while we are cooking. Once we made banana cake, and we're actually into cooking a lot. With my father, I usually crack jokes because my father is a really happy-go-lucky person, and he always cracks jokes. He always makes me laugh, and that's what I love about him.
Okay. And what is your brother's name?
My brother's name is Kavish. We have matching names.
Okay. And your mother's name is Gunjan, of course. And what is your father's name?
My father's name is Sachin.
Sachin. Okay. And what business does he do?
He's into jewelry. He's into
Jewel.
like a jewelry business.
So you get a lot of jewelry, is it?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay. All right. Great. So tell me, Akashvi, I want to ask you, do you have any storytelling contests in your school?
those contests are usually for primary children. I'm in secondary school, so they're mostly for primary children. But I used to enjoy storytelling when I was in primary. I remember when I was in third grade back then. I think that was my latest class before COVID. I really used to enjoy like standing in front of the class and reciting.
Okay, so you're talking about a storytelling where you stand in front of people and tell a story. I'm
Yes.
not talking about a storytelling for primary children. I'm talking for children in your age group from class 6 or class 5 to class 11. I'm talking about writing a proper story of real heroes. Do you have anything like that in your school?
Writing a prop we Okay, I haven't have come to know about these competitions inside school, but I think I have heard of some of them outside school.
Okay, fine. So that is the reason I was asking you is because we are planning to launch a inter-school, intra-school student storytelling, fellowship where we are inviting students to tell us stories, and those stories have to be of real heroes. Of course, they cannot be fairy tales or fables or stories like Nine Questions by the Princess, but they're stories of people like Dashrath Manji, who I told you about, who we feature in our Karma Kari book. They could even be of children that you know who are doing very inspiring work, because we also have the Kid Power series that you can see on the screen. Do you think something like that would work in schools?
Yeah, of course, I would love that.
Yeah. And do you think students would like to participate in a contest like that?
Yes.
Because storytelling has been identified as one of the most essential skills of the future. And that is the reason we are actually kind of planning. So I wanted to get an insight of a 11-year-old student who's still in school, whether something like this is in the right direction, and do you think it would really work? Because the besides giving them an award, we are also offering that the best stories which are curated from all the stories that we receive, maybe 100 or 200 best stories, or maybe even 300, would be included in the Karma Kari books and published. So all the students would get to be a published writer and author. So do you think something like that would be in school? Would kind of fly in schools?
Yes, so actually, many I think many people will enroll because everyone wants to be a published author. Everyone wants to write a story, and everyone wants their name to be written under a story and be a published author. So it'll just be the talk of the town if it launches.
Thank you. Thank you for your encouraging words. So we are in the right direction. And Gunjan, if we decide to, and if you want to involve you, since you're also into storytelling now, because we are also doing a
Yes.
poetry fellowship later on, and we surely had you in mind as a mascot author or a mascot mentor for that. But would you be interested in being a mascot mentor for the storytelling fellowship that we are launching
Yeah,
in
I would
schools
love
also?
to.
You would
Yes,
love to be involved? Okay, brilliant. So on that note, would you like to share another poem with us?
of course.
Yes.
Okay, now I will choose another poem. Uh, I would like to recite the poem, What is My Passion?
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Yes. What is my passion? Hmm. What is my passion? Is it art, crafting, or fashion? Oh, I can't decide what I like. Or is it public speaking with in front of me a mic? Oh, my abilities, I can sleep very well. Fine, fine, I'm lazy. No need to tell. I got a big fat zero in my history exam. I can't even do photography because I always take blurred photos or wavy. Is it cooking? Oh, no, no, no. Once when I was trying to cook chicken, I almost burned down the whole kitchen. Is it singing, rapping, or dancing? Oh, time to get in shape. Recess is finished. Ring.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you,
The
Gunjan.
idea of this is the idea of this is basically a child imagining, like a child thinking that into his own world, that what is his passion, because he really wants to know what he's good at, so that he can like just enroll into different competitions.
Right. And have you discovered your passion as yet?
Yes, I have. I think it's poetry.
Okay. And do you really know the meaning of the word passion, Gunjan?
My name is Kaashvi.
Sorry, Kashvi. What is the meaning of the word passion?
Passion basically means something which you uh, something which you really something which you really like to do on your own, something in which you're not being forced to do. Like some people say, follow your passion. And passion means that something which is a will of heart,
Right. Okay.
some talent which you have,
Right.
something which you really like to do.
Right. Right. Excellent. And passion basically comes from a Latin word which means suffering. It's something that you're ready to suffer for. It's something that you're ready to kind of go through the mill, the grill, and the drill for. It's something that will ensure that you are unstoppable, you're unshakable, you're unbreakable, because there will be hardships, there will be pain. Because as much as we like to be very positive in our life cannot just be a positive walk and journey, right? There will be negativity along, there will be hardships along, but how do you stay on the ball? How do you kind of learn to rise again and move on again? And I think that is the meaning of the word passion. And I have a very holy book for myself, which I really kind of live by. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. In that, Dr. Viktor Frankl says that you do not invent your purpose or passion. You discover it, you detect it, and you detect it because you do regular introspection. So my insight for all the young children and their parents is that let your children find their passion. Don't enforce it on them. It needs to be discovered, it needs to be detected, and the only way they can do that is by exploring options, by finding different things to do without being told that, oh, you're doing too many things, and we already spent money on this hobby, now you want to move on to the next thing. So let them explore different options before they finally decide what they want to do, because they need to discover and detect their passion, their purpose, rather than being forced on with something, or being enforced to kind of invent or create a passion. So that is an insight I wanted to share with you, Kashvi, and all the children and parents who are watching. So tell us a little about your school, Tagore School. What are the things in school that you really like? What are things that you, right? What about school life keeps you going?
So I really like my school because it has so many activities we can enroll in. It has so many competitions, and and there's nothing which you will not find in it. It's full of creativity. It's full of awesome children who have various talents like singing, dancing, art and craft, and and the school does not have there are some schools which do not let the children show their creativity, but it's that's not the case at all with Tagore. It's open to ideas. It's really it's really open to ideas, and and if a child and if a child thinks that there's something wrong, the school actually has a counselor too. The child can talk to the counselor. The child can share the views with the counselor. That's what I like about the school. They For the school, their children is the first priority.
Excellent. Great to hear that about the Tagore International School. So before we conclude, Kashvi, are there any thoughts, insights that you would like to share with the audience, your life lessons, your whatever lessons you learned in your journey of 11 years? If Kashvi, you want to share that, please go ahead and share that with us.
So, what I learned was I should not be shy of what I have, because everything is a God's gift. I used to be really shy that why do only I have curly hair? Everyone around me is straight hair, and they don't have to face name calling. Why am I the only one? And everyone used to be like, no, it's okay, you have beautiful hair. But I never used to think of it in that way. But then as I grew up, I actually got to know that my curly hair is really what makes me unique.
Excellent.
What really what makes me stand out.
Right. Right. So that's a great life lesson, Kashvi. Thank you for sharing that. Don't be embarrassed with what you have. Discover your own unique gifts. Don't let other people define your gifts. You define your gifts. You define who you are. You define your identity. So thank you, Kashvi, for sharing that. And to conclude, do you want to share with the people in the audience where they can find a copy of your book and where they can buy a copy of your book, The Curled Verses?
The Curled Verses is available on Amazon and Flipkart. It is under the name of Kaashvi Mangal. So please go and grab a copy and enjoy reading my poems.
So thank you, Kaashvi Mangal. It
And
has been a delight speaking with you. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts and your insights with all candor and great life lessons that you shared with us. My request to everybody in the audience, please do go on Amazon and buy Kaashvi Mangal's book, The Curled Verses. Thank you, Kaashvi, for preparing through the day for this conversation. And we look forward to having you as our mentor, mascot mentor soon for the storytelling, student storytelling fellowship. Anything if you
yes.
want to say before we conclude?
Yes, lastly, I would like to thank some people who helped me in the journey of publishing a book. First of all, I would like to thank my family, my parents, my mother, who my supportive parents, and the people who I gained inspiration from to write poems. My mother has always been supportive, and she was the one who used to wake up late nights just so she could bring me coffee to write late night poems, because I had school those days, and I used to be really tired. I used to come back. I had tuition and everything, so I would wake up at like 12 in the night, and I would finish writing poems, and I actually used to enjoy that. It was not forced. I used to enjoy that. Secondly, I would like to thank my publisher, my mentor, Gurneet ma'am. Her name is written under the book. She was also the one who woke up late nights editing my book. Who was doing the final editing, and I would really and I really appreciate all her efforts. And lastly, as I said, I am focusing on storytelling. I'm learning storytelling from Young Dragon English Club, which is hosted by Sumit sir. Uh, and this is why I said that in the near future I might launch a book with all the stories in it, all stories.
So that is Sumit Sehgal, I guess.
Yes,
All
yes,
right. Sumit is a great friend and
yes.
you're in great hands. So thank you so much, Kashvi, and thank you to your parents for helping you to prepare for this. And pleasure having you with us on the author experience conversation. And it was a delight speaking with you. Take care and have a great evening.
Thank you so much.
Namaste. See you. Bye bye.
Namaste.